gather your knockers, ladies, because Mr. Motorboat is in the house. Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Shift up, got shafted.
Let me get mine.
That means no more beautiful creations like Eve from Stellar Blade. Unfortunately, you can stop doing that now, Eve. It's getting very distracting. And by the way, Miss Croft, have you found that pen yet? I dropped it on the floor about 5 minutes ago. But keep searching. It's all good from where I am.
He's fearless, careless, a little too careless.
And before I get on with today's main story, folks, I actually want to do a bit of a reaction to Captain America, who's not Captain America, but could be, but in disguise. Anthony Mackie's pissed that this whole film had to be reshot all over again. It's pretty hilarious, actually. But Guy Gatherboys, one of my favorite subscribers, mentioned something in his comments that I should have done a full reaction to. So for you, Guy, and everybody else, because when I sat back and I watched the trailer last night, a few things were glaring at me. Not so much to do with the fact that Harrison Ford is now your Thunderbolt Ross because he shaved off the Sam Elliott moustache of wisdom. No. Something a lot more obvious than that. So let's just get on with this. And good old Disney won't copyright claim me, which is always a bonus in my books.
Well, thank you for the invite,
Well,
sir.
thanks for coming.
I have to admit, I'm still getting
You're
used to
welcome. I
the
hope I
new
didn't make a
look.
lot of mess,
This guy
Mr.
lose
President,
the
sir.
lose the election. You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making.
That is, by the way, an awful... I mean, who wears an all-grey suit and a shirt and a tie? Nobody does. Nice dimple, they've got that correct. That's probably a full Windsor to get that precise dimple, but ill-fitting suit. I would have had a grey suit and a blue shirt and maybe a light blue tie or dark blue tie to add a bit of contrast.
Run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation...
Oh, here we go. Glaring, this thing stuck out like a sore thumb. So, I mean, I don't know who this actress is, but if you want hot females in a Marvel movie going forward, you ain't gonna get it. This is the way going forward. I feel sorry for the actress. Maybe on a good day she could look better. And she has shades of the late great Shelley Duvall. If you don't know, she passed away a couple of days ago. Rest in peace. And including Benji Gregory from Alf. He passed away with his beloved dog by his side. Very, very sad time, folks. But just back to this moment here again. I mean, quite clearly she's white. Quite clearly she's a rogue agent because we see her later again in this trailer. And yeah, she's out there to thwart Sam Wilson's mission to be Falcon or Black Captain America.
Situation.
Captain Afro-America, maybe? That could have been a good title. Af-America.
Then what happens?
Giancarlo Esposito.
With me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Yeah, that's going to be the that was the round of applause when they saw the first cut of this movie. It's like, you know what, guys? You're going to have to reshoot again. Get rid of the woke stuff. Let's bring in the things that Marvel fans actually like.
World a better way forward.
I felt they gave away too much here in this moment, but whatever.
Sir, your
It does look cheap, actually. I've got to agree.
You
It
can't
looks
see
really
that,
cheap.
but you don't want to. What if it's a trap?
Joaquin Torres.
Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn.
It should be here. Oh my God. Black Beauty here can't seem to hold the gun properly. And what is with this shiny forehead? Holy shit, man. I think they're on a naval ship or maybe a submarine. I can't quite tell. But by the way, that's a glaring error, right? So if they're, just say for example, they're in a submarine, you can't let off firearms in a submarine, a submerged vessel. I learned about this through The Hunt for Red October when Alec Baldwin, when he played the greatest version of Jack Ryan in my books, lets a gun off, doesn't he, inside the vessel, and that's not supposed to happen. But that's Hollywood, baby. But look at this. I mean, God, this is just... Yeah, Marvel actively prohibiting hot, attractive, buxom females to be in a Marvel showcase. That was the selling points of a lot of the comics back in the day. Even the early Marvel TV shows that we had incorporated some sexiness into it. This is just, oh, good grief. I can see why this has gotten a ton of backlash. I really can, actually. Oh my God, that shield is so OP, destroyed the White House. An explosion, well, not the type I was thinking about. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to the other news of the day. And I saw this yesterday. Am I surprised at this stage? Not really, because I talked about it briefly in a previous video I made. Stellar Blade developers Shift Up, who have now shafted us royally in the royal behind, goes public, makes a huge pile of money. Founder, CEO Hayoung Tae Kim, now a billionaire. Of course he is. And this is a bit sad, actually. Does it give me any hope for Vindictus defying fate? We've seen that character Fiona, who I love so much. Do you think that company might bow down to ESG and DEI? I mention those two dreadful words for an obvious reason here. So let's have a look at this. This was published yesterday at 3 a.m. So Kyle Adam obviously is a man who doesn't sleep. South Korean developer Shift Up, responsible for PS5 and occasionally sabotaged hit by Sony PlayStation itself, Stellar Blade has gone public, completing an initial offering IPO worth 435 billion won. And who won? Hayoung Tae Kim, of course, which is about, I like the way they understate this, it's about 320 million in loose change. Well, by the way, golly jeepers, if some of that loose change can float its way to South London, I would like to get some of that, please. Founder and CEO, I've just named him, remains the largest shareholder, which is what we all speculated. If he's the largest shareholder, he can call the shots. With a stake worth an eye-watering, it's only 1.2 billion, folks, in loose change again. With Chinese holding company Tencent moving into second place, the company itself has projected valuation of around $2.3 billion. Now with Tencent, they are supposed to be quite a based company, so people are thinking at this stage, well, if Shift Up has obviously gone public now, how does that affect their future video games going forward? Most importantly, are we going to get a Stellar Blade Part 2? Who knows? By the way, interesting little fun fact for you. If you're a YouTube content creator and you type in Stellar Blade, apparently my channel name shows up quite a lot associated with that brand, which I think is absolutely hilarious. It was actually a fellow YouTuber who told me this when he was making his Stellar Blade content. Along with Miss SB, they are printing successful mobile games money. Nikkei, Goddess of Victory, Wobble Wobble, Toil and Trouble, Destiny Child, not to be confused with Kelly Rowland and Beyonce. The studio intends to double down on what it does best, or does breast, and will use the proceeds to grow its games portfolio. But the problem is, Mr. Kyle Adam, is that we don't know exactly how far they're going to go. So Drunken Eagle, I love that, that handle, 92, the year they were born, it has said the following: if they can land another hit I think they'll cement themselves as a new young contender, as a studio. But that's the problem. If they're lazy, are they going to do that? Are they going to be bothered? Are they actually going to ignore the fans who want an untouched Stellar Blade for number 2? We should get a sequel, and I think if we do that, it probably won't be for another 3 years. But I wonder if it's going to be a watered down version of Eve. I have a funny feeling it might be. It's so disappointing to actually see this kind of news because South Korea, known to be an absolutely based nation. If you've seen the Korean Maxim page on YouTube with eye-watering thumbnails, which I obviously draw a lot of inspiration from. I mean, holy shit. I never gave South Korean women the time of day, but after what I've seen, you know what? I might be changing my mind about that. But here's an interesting thing. Now, obviously, I cannot take credit for this. I can't say I'm the one who found it because it's the last thing you'd actually see. But as I used to work in HR myself in jolly old Blighty, I've noticed a few things about this recent job ad. Okay, now I'm going to get to the obvious point in a minute, but this is for an IR officer in management support. Now, I'm going to assume that their version of IR is to do with HR, but they call it IR. We're looking for talented IR managers who will lead the original, hang on a second, let me start that again. We are looking for talented, blame it on Stellar Blade's tits actually, IR managers who will lead the global game market and Shift Up Company Limited to achieve continuous growth together. So you have to have a fluency in English. You know what? I should probably apply for this job. Be in charge of IR work and governance, organization-related tasks of Shift Up. So I see all these points here, and then we get to the fourth bullet point, which I'm going to highlight for you. In addition, team members are in charge of leading public company disclosures, committee practices, and ESG reporting publication.
You're completely out of your mind. I mean, why?
We never thought we would see the day that a company like Shift Up, who, by the way, shook hands with the devil, that is, of course, Sony PlayStation, and now they're locked into this, what appears to be an arbitrary deal. Relevant experience, companies, research, IR of listed companies, more than 7 years of experience. I actually do have that kind of experience, funny enough. Residents or students of an English-speaking country who are proficient in English. It's very interesting they're actually asking for this. A person who has a high understanding of the capital market and is proficient in deck work. Well, I don't have none of those, so that rules me out then straight away. Guitar. What? In your resume and job description, be sure to clearly state what you're looking for. Maybe a Marshall double bass twang guitar with a couple of pair of Norks at the end. I don't know. What guitar? What the heck? But what's very interesting about this job description, I saw it somewhere, that's it. Based on his fluent English skills, he is in charge of IR work. Right, so do you see what I mean? They're very gender specific here. They're looking for a male to fill this vacancy. I find that really interesting. It might be an oversight on some people's part, but maybe that's their culture. Maybe if they're actively recruiting for a male IR officer, that's what they want. Maybe the department itself maybe has a quotient of females in there already, so that could be the reason why they're gender specific, or again, it could be lost in translation because I'm using Edge browser to translate this, because for some reason GX Opera could not handle this, and it seems that this website, Shift Up of course, wasn't modified for a Korean website such as theirs, which is a bit of a shame actually. And I just want to go back up here because we have to lament the fact that we've got this lovely vision of a woman right here along with Lily, silly Lily, in a game that was divisive for the wrong reasons, not my wrong reasons, because my wrong reasons are always the right reasons, don't you know? And Destiny Child, if I click on that, in fact, somebody actually thanked me for featuring or mentioning this game in one of my videos. And oh, hello, right, well, I'll definitely have to give Destiny Child a bit of a closer inspection much later on, if you know what I mean. Wow, holy hell, man. So what a shame. You know, we fought for this game. We got the game that we wanted. If you play it offline, you get the uncensored version. Sadly now, well, shift up. I'm going to tell you guys, you've sold your soul to the devil. It's time to reap the consequences. And that's not necessarily a good thing. So on that one, lady, Miss Croft, have you still not found my pen yet? I mean, it is somewhere in this room. Honestly, you can't find good treasure hunters these days, can you? But in Miss Croft's case, I'll just give her a pass. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, which I know was filled with a bit of sad news, it's left to Fiona now from Vindictus Defying Fate to save the day. And don't forget, we've got Spine coming out from Neki Games very soon. They seem like a very based company, and I don't think they're on the market at the moment, but if that game does well, then who knows what might happen. And this is the thing, people are talking about the fact, are video games a dying form now? Sadly, they are. We get the occasional stomper out of the block like Stellar Blade. And now I think there'll be some other South Korean video game companies out there that will not bow down to this. You know, the temptation of money. That's the problem. When you get a load of money coming your way, all of a sudden now creativity and visionary just goes out of your head. It's like, I got lots of money, I can get myself lots of titties like Miss Lara Croft right here. And yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, folks, but I've got faith, I've got hope. In fact, I'm going to link on my end card of this video today a video I made a couple of months ago about South Korean games I'm looking forward to. So give that a watch. Like this video, like that one if you haven't already done so. And if I were you, and if you were the three of them, and if I were me, I would come back looking for you, looking for me on the next video.